Okay, hello friends. Hopefully this is working and running. A little bit more difficult to check. Apologies for the slight delay, and we might be a little bit pushed for time. The schedule, the block time given, should give us a little bit of flex, but I'm conscious that we are a little bit late. Somebody's here already. Spooky Zayo, hello. I don't think I've seen you here before, and I'm sorry if I neglect the chat. It's sort of out of my eye line. Anyway, I've done some plugin removal, and Xpilot might have actually been what was causing horrific frame drops. Drop down a little bit, that could be the scenery again.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support. How can we help you today?
Hi Jenny, well, November 6 of Atlas Sierra is what we're taking. Now I'm going to look at the times here. I've done it because I want to get there by 12 o'clock local, 15, 20 minute turnaround. 12:15, 12:30 lunchtime departure. 32 light to get back. So really we need to be on blocks at about 19:55. Looking at the times we've got here, got about 15 minutes slack, 18:50, 19:05. So we can 19:20 departure. Should just about do us. We haven't got anyone to worry about because it's just there's no packs. We're going out empty. Go and pick some people up and come back. So we really want is 18:50, half an hour. That's off blocks, but of course it won't take long to taxi, so we can bit even later. Like I say, as long as we are off round at night, thereabouts, that should give us 20-minute turnaround. So 3 crew, 0 packs. We're going to take fuel and we're going to tanker just to save time when we're there. I'm not sure I've done the calculation correctly, but we'll see how we get on. Have the GPU because we'll land, shut down, leave the APU running, run into the FBO at the other end, get the packs turning up, and then we'll crack on.
Of course, Captain. I'll get that organized for you right away.
Thanks. So, wander out to the aeroplane. Let's see how the frames and everything else go. So, look, pretty slack winds. And I've got 36 frames per second. In this direction with objects up. Ground shadows are off. I may get the fly with the plugin back for that. And as you can see, as you pan around, the frame rate feels like it drops a bit. But this is with Ortho as well, and we appear to be. So, I'm a happy chap. Door opening. Here, why don't we connect our call sign and everything the same. So, it's us logged on to VATSIM and aeroplane hearing. I think it's relatively quiet where we are. Has that done anything frame rate by the looks of things? 30 to 40 frames. This view here is giving me on the shadow fix. I haven't turned everything max up, but I have increased the shadows just to make them that bit. Anyway, without further ado, and especially to make them look. Here we are, back in the jets as normal. So, like I say, really sorry, Spooky. I have a question. Have I flown in real life? Yes, I have a private pilot's license. I used to instruct as well. About 500 hours instructional. Single engine piston, single engine propeller aeroplanes, and a couple of hundred private pilot hours. I haven't flown in the States. I would really like to fly in the States. Like I say, sorry about not keeping my chat. So, tankering. I only thought about this relative early. Let's get the airplane powered up. But the reason that I'm talking about tankering is because we're just going to fuel up here, carry the fuel over there, come back, and I'm sure somebody much more qualified than me that's done the ATPL theory told me that I've done it all terribly, but I've done something that I think is quite sensible. Don't plan to use contingent. So, circuit breakers, they all in. Check the battery connections. What we might do is an oil check at the other end. On. Overhead switches is what I was looking at there, so they're right, everything else turned up, everything off, pushed in, it's fine initially. Me, down here, I know, I'll check that. Anyway, nose is off, landing gear is down, spoiler lever is stowed, maps positioned up, and side C is in, works. Not really do the external check properly. That's what we can do. Connect ground power. Dings, and we've got 25 volts as you can see there. FireX, fire detect. I'm not going to do one. Pop the nav on. Pop the ground power on. The load's gone off the batteries. PRUs are working. ACs on 115 volts, 400 hertz. Yays. Nav lights are on. Logo lights not required. Set. FireX is in a moment. So the reason I'm only saying in a moment is briefly about the fuel. So while we let that load up, clear these. That was me just clearing this and clearing the ATS. So what I've done, I've taken both the trip fuels, I've taken the max of contingency from both of those trips. I suppose I could have added both together. Taken the max of the alternate, which is the same in each case, which is Sacramento. I've taken the higher figure, 80, and then it's alternate, some extra fuel.
All right, Captain. Fuel truck is hooked up. Just let me know how much fuel you need.
That's why I was just doing the fuel counts. I've got 1348 that I can't. Final reserve, right, so I've taken the highest final reserve figure for 45 minutes fuel. Then I've got 570, which is the max of my additional fuel per leg. And both taxi fuel, 225, so £500. And all of that together gave us 6323, whereas each leg needed about 4.3. So the idea being that we should have slightly more required. So we've got 2550 on board. So 6323 take away 2550 gives us 3773 required. C divided by 6.74 gives Is this 560.29? So I am going to just round up to 70.
Alright, I'm gonna go start up the pump.
And then we'll just see how we get on. I would expect a quieter regional airport to have higher fuel prices, but I could be wrong. Because certainly first we're at Bounds, they're both open, fuel's flowing, it could just be I would expect the ones in the sticks to be expensive, but then of course the fuel cost at the big airports sort of covers the landing fee and everything else, a landing fee. So it may very well be spectacularly offset. So that's what I'm doing. As long as we end up with our minimum takeoff at the other end, preferably with our extra 15-minute reserve. Got a 45-minute reserve, which I think is the IFR requirement. Should be all. So that was the headache with the fuel. It's just going to save us. Like I say, I'm not necessarily fussed about the money or sentiment that we're thinking about. The time we've got when we get there, we don't be waiting around for a fueler to fuel us up because we're slightly pushed. So, with that in mind, let's crack on with checks. FireX 4 green, U 2 green, APU, GPUs available, APU gen is on AC metrics checked now. The light's checked for you.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics. Nav lights, logo light.
Checked.
Cockpit lights.
So, as far as I'm concerned, these all up nice and bright to
Lamp test.
down here, and it's that one. The people get test there. I don't. It's just me.
Duct monitor.
That is up here. Lead air duct.
Bleed air duct.
Audio caution. I got
Bleed air
red
duct.
CAS and
Bleed air duct.
A green.
FMS database status.
This may very well need changing. As it does. 20 swapped over.
FMS flight plan uplink. ATIS.
So I don't think that we can do that plan. See if I can. So index, and if two. See if that works. I don't know if it will. I have to do it manually, but there's not a lot to type in, so.
Anti-skid.
Should have been on armed, shouldn't it? Right.
Nose door.
So, we are going to go out to the door. Check to make sure it is clear.
Hydraulic 3A pump.
So, hydraulic page is that one. VA pump on. Green. Size rising. 8 degrees. 70%.
Refueling is complete, Captain. Do you need anything else?
So, I think said we made 6323 or 6320 at least.
Okay,
Yes.
just one quick signature on here, and I'll be on my way. Here's a copy for your records. Have a nice day.
Brake pressure.
So 3000 psi, yes.
Parking brake.
Brake set.
Nose door.
So that's the close point. Let's go out. Yes, should probably open all that up, even though we have a crew back. And after the jet. Looks like a beautiful California day. When are they not, I suppose? Well, yeah, I went to the Golden Gate Bridge, which was radiant horrible. That's probably the summer year. Years ago now. So, chocks are in. These ones now. Clearly there is no ice on these. Let's work the APU's off so we're not going to get heat blasted. Baggage thruster out. That chock can come out. Check all the static wicks. Get all these fairings looking for any damage, especially if they ice fly the jet. Go pins, covers and everything else out. Cabin temperature of 18, so actually relatively cool. Nose door is closed.
Hydraulic panel and pumps.
So we are testing these. So we go off, on. BA goes off, 3B comes on, and fine. On. Cautions out. 1000 PSI on him. Go.
Electric panel.
So Gen 1, 2 off.
AC DC utility switch. Start ignition panel.
Clear.
Fuel panel.
So 3. Green, white, white. 1. Go, stay on. Out, white, white. Out, off. Out, off. Out, both off. Caution.
APU LCV.
Gonna leave that shut
10th stage isolation valve. Packs.
until we start the APU.
Air conditioning panel.
So normal ram air out guarded. Like that's it. Cabin.
Pressurization panel.
So ICAS differential 0. Man out centered. Man rate all the way down. In man and there. Out. Illuminates. Emergency out. And we are going to, let's just have a look at the chart. An airport that is quite a few thousand sea level, if I am correct. And from San Francisco to Carson City or Tahoe, it's a 5-hour drive, so a 30-minute flight is pretty. Let's have a look. Airfield elevation 4724. Highest we've seen so far. About there. Very difficult to see. E041 it is expecting, so about there. So just think about the density altitude at Minden. 6 degrees, 4,000 feet, pressure at 4,000 feet. Just insane. So, and the rate knob pip is aligned, so that's done.
Bleed air panel.
So we're looking for 4 wides, but we'll check that once we've started the APU.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel switch.
So these should all be off out.
Cal anti-ice switches.
They are up here, so we put them in. There's no caution.
Anti-ice panel.
So, wing heat on. Those two left and right heat lights are off. Our light switches out. Goes to high. Test. 2, 3, 15. Go on. Set. They will come again. Ice detect. Option. Heat.
Wing overheat.
1 red.
Wing overheat.
1 oral.
Wing
Emergency
overheat.
lights.
So we have an emergency light off. Okay. Is it a caution? It's a caution. So we have emergency light off, caution on. We have 1 light, which is an info measuring on, armed.
Passenger signs.
Have no packs, so off
ELT.
is armed.
Glare shield panel.
Set up properly in a departure.
Crew and passenger oxygen.
So we have 1890 psi. Our masks
DCU warning panel.
is over here. See, it's off. Guarded.
CVR.
Check. Test. Right.
Audio panels.
So 1228. We're on no ATC on mine. Sad. Mic 1. Suit me.
SPS system.
Okay, so as always, so we stab him. 1. 2 is in. And disconnect button. Operates. Stab trim caution. Light control page. Gonna do test. Get stall fail. Shit. Yes. Hit I push the disconnect. Stops that. Can't do checks. Gotta do it both sides.
Integrated standby instrument.
So that is eight. 3 set. So Oakland elevation is 9 feet. Looks like 20.
Clock.
Flight times reset.
EFIS. ICAS.
Checked.
Main landing gear bay overheat.
Is
Viewer bay overheat.
warning.
Viewer bay overheat.
Fail and a caution.
TOS warning switches.
They're all out. Test.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear. Terrain, terrain, pull up.
So that's sweet. Just turn the radars off.
Pitch and roll disconnects.
They are down here and they are both stowed.
Ground spoilers.
Tow,
Thrust reversers.
stowed, checked, out and armed.
Thrust levers.
1, pull, 3, off, 2, cut off.
Engine speed switches.
Here and they're both on.
Engine vibration check.
The vibration goes up to 3.5.
Oral warning. Smoke detector.
So,
Smoke.
1 oral.
Smoke.
Trims. Mach trim.
So, 1, 2, no Mac, no stab, stab 2 inop, sets, 2, stab 1 inop, then pull in, pitch, take off.
Yacht ampers.
Pop those on.
Reversionary inhibit switches.
CDU tune and MFD tune inhibits not guarded.
IRS.
Actually, no, they don't have a guard, do they? So let's. So cancel that. Let's get any weather we can. I'm occasionally looking at chat as well, so fast. Apologise if I don't get to you. So there is 0 ATC online. It's, to be fair, it's a Monday. So, with that in mind, data link. It doesn't matter which order we do because we use the same airport. Oakland. Set those, and then I'll start doing flight plan. No weather at Minden at the last report. No wind at 10 miles, sky clear. And variable at 4 knots, so we'll take whichever run we prefer. And I think we would prefer to come south here for departure. 1753 Zulu. Go. 230 at 5. 10 miles, clear skies. Of 13, dew point 53033. Close there, wasn't I? So the reason I was doing that before this is if we have in it. Pause in it. Is that sensible 3743 ES 2213? So and let's go to Linden. Turnut first, KSMF. So we're going to 321. Yes, all sounds sensible. AIRPOH. H. Direct. That's it. That's our route. So, 0 fuel weight, 27877. £6,400 of fuel. Cruise out is flight 0 today. Let's cruise out is flight level 200. Calc fuel, yes. Execute. Now VNav, that's fine, but we are 378,000 states. That makes things easier. It's going to be to cruise, and the descent is going to be 7,800. Bingo. So, arch time in. We think we're going to make that. Yeah, I think another 10 minutes and then we can get a wiggle on and go. We're meant to be off blocks now. 19:20 is the latest. We've still got another half an hour before we have to be off. And what I'm just going to do is this. IRS status. There we go, they're all in nav. And they all seem pretty sensible.
CPDLC.
Can't do.
TCAS.
Test that.
TCAS system test OK.
ATIS and clearance.
So we've got no ATIS, we've got the weather, but no clearance. I'll get that again before I do the takeoff.
FMS flight plan. Wind update. Perf.
So let's do perf. We think it's 13 degrees, it says 14. Go with what we're actually sensing. So, let's have a look at the airport. So, noise abatement, 24. Turbojet, turbofan, should not depart to 8 right, land on 10 left, 10 right. Weather gives us a pretty spectacular taxi if we don't. So I think we'll make that be. Anyway, departure wise, I think we're going to do the limits 5. Which is climbing right turn 5, up altitude by ATC, radar record 9. Then anyway. So, with that in mind, slightly longer runway of 28 left, we're going to be relatively light. Let's go from 28 right and see how we get on. So, we're at 5, 28 right. Say the NIM's 5. That's below 400. Fine. There is to arrive with. So let's have a look at these. There's no stars. I want to have GPS A, GPS B. Are we going from Spook? No, we're not. The initial approach faces IRPOH, which is where we're going. So, vectors, tidy that up. Then vector discontinuity. I think we can get rid of that just by doing that. Boxy to tidy that up there. That gives us relatively high minimum, 1700 feet in clear day, so it shouldn't be. Back to takeoff. As we said, 2305 degrees, 303, if 4. Sorry, I'm neglecting the chat. 5458, 5454, so that's fine. I'm Mr. 8. Sorry, like I say, it's out of my eye line, unfortunately. That's on charge. Pressure altitude here is 300. So good. And you can see that we've got ample available. We will go down to low. And those, they were deleting it today. Earth date. And departure, there it is. So I reckon 1915, isn't it? Our alternate. Our final reserve 10, 1500. Both legs, and we've got 5, which is probably going to be wrong. Now at that point, I think we can like that wind update. Double check the weather. Get going.
Takeoff data.
Just done.
Avionics and charts.
Got rows. Map on that side. You need the bar. Pitch is 1148. So now 2. And we're departing SFO, Oakland 1168. It's going direct. See, not going to be up at Linden just yet. We'll look at the runway heading, shall we? 278 degrees.
Flight instruments.
So, pushed Hoga, M1TO. So I will arm nav, but it should revert to a heading mode. I'll update that in a moment, so I'll leave that there. So, nav's armed. Check. So, attitude's fine, headings are fine. Nav source is FMS1 initially. Oakland VOR on nav 1. And Linden on 2 once we get in the air and pick that up. V-speed's set. It's a sort of noise departure, but just climb up, clean up, and we can do rocket, flight level change, climb, crew. Speed target's 200, size 0, altimeter set, N1 8 of everything there. No, I didn't do this, so set 10,000 initially.
Departure briefing.
So departure briefing, the taxi down, 28 right. So we should be lifting off halfway down. It's 5, so above 400 feet, right turn, heading E15 degree. Then vectors, well, we'll sort that out ourselves. Given whatever altitude, we're going to do that ourselves. Straight up, 330 cruise. It's really much more to say.
Emergency procedures.
Skip that.
Pins, covers, chocks.
Stowed.
Cabin lights, water heaters, master seat. Flight compartment checklist complete. Engine
Good.
start checklist next.
So, let's get the door shut. No. Let's get the APU started first, shall we? So there is the APU started. So still no ATC, never mind. Unicom works. And we'll just give the APU a couple of minutes, 2 minutes before. Yeah. So that ding is APU gen off. Switch that on. And most importantly, that out. And leave the chock for after start. Cabin is 18 degrees, the AC will come on it. Shut the door.
Overdrive Southwest 2517 is over Zolan, inbound on the ILS 30 approach, Oakland.
Cool. A 1 bit of traffic. So we'll be taxiing Delta Charlie, hold short 28 right. So just wait for 2 minutes. Then we will get the packs on. Close off, lights off. There's 2 minutes, LCV in. Open, isolation valve in. Open, packs on.
Engine start checklist. Doors. Closed. Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
20 pounds. Well within.
Beacon. On. Fuel boost pumps.
So on here. And has that changed? 240 negligible. Still 10 plus, still clear, still 13, 7, 2. And the check was fuel boost pumps.
On. Ignition.
It's an even day today, isn't it? Try that.
Armed. Engine 2 start.
So, front shock is in. I'm not going to call anyone for start because there's nobody to call. Thumbs up, engine 2 start. So, start 2. N2's turning, oil pressure is rising 20%. There it is. Fuel on. ITT was less than 120. Fuel flow increases and money increases.
Fuel system.
Both outwave for caution and engine number 2, 4, 6. Stable. Left pump, right pump, left low. Checked.
Engine 1 start.
Thumbs up, start number 1. 2's turning, oil pressure's increasing. 20%, M1's turning, fuel on, ITT's less than 120. It is T increasing, N1 increase, as does oil pressure.
Engine start checklist complete. After start checklist, next.
2, 6, 4. Engine number 1 is stable.
After start checklist. Generator 1 and 2. On, checked AC and DC. Ignition.
I have checked both.
Disarmed. Packs. On. 14th stage.
See there?
Open. Cowl anti-ice. On, check 45 seconds. Flight controls.
Pull forward, pull off, pull left, pull right, pull left rudder, right rudder.
Ground spoilers.
Our spoilers are down here, so we go to disarm, nothing deployed, on, deploy, so they stow,
Flight spoilers.
go to full, deployed, go to half, I go to half, stowed, stowed.
Cowl anti-ice.
Cal anti-ice is on, lights,
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
down here,
Test on. Fuel balance.
30 pounds,
Trims.
set, 3 checked the set,
No steer.
so let's get the chock.
Armed. APR.
That is down here, APR 1, checked green, 2, it's green,
ADG unit.
light on then goes out.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
Haven't got to 2 minutes yet.
Delta Tram Southwest 2517 is clearing 30 Oakland.
Cal anti-ice.
So, out.
Off. Wing anti-ice.
Clear.
Norm. 14-stage isolation valve. Wing
Check.
anti-ice.
Anti-ice on, yellow N2. Yes. White heat, yes.
Check. Off. ATS. N1 TO. ATC TCAS. After start checklist complete. Taxi checklist next. Taxi checklist. Taxi lights.
So
On.
clear left.
Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Clear right.
Brakes and steering.
Check those. Oakland traffic. Prefect 99 taxiing hold runway 28 right via Delta and Charlie. Traffic. Brakes off. Brakes work. Rudder. Steering works.
Reverse thrust.
Check that in a moment. It's 1910. Got 6, 3, 20. Taxi forward here. Hopefully miss these middle lights. Simulator is smooth again. Stuttery. What they've done with these hangers is stuffed a couple together, which is one way of doing it, I suppose. So left reverser checked, stowed. Right checked, stowed.
If taxiing the de-ice, pause checklist here until the paper de-ice checklist is complete. Flaps. 20. Altimeters. Set and cross-checked.
Yeah,
Radar
36,
weather.
37 frames.
On. Takeoff briefing.
We've discussed.
Taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist next.
And this is just all idle as well, so quick. So here's Delta, we're going to follow Delta along. Yeah, the wind fixer, squeeze a brake. So we're going to put Charlie all the way down. So we have got takeoff config okay, so double check that just before we go. Our minimum takeoff fuel. 7. Well in advance of that, and even on the way back it's 3.5. Should only use trip and taxi 1437. So we should end up with greater than block fuel on arrival. 15 departure, so yeah, pushing it a little bit to get there on time. Don't go all the way down to the end. Let's make that mistake last time. So, here is the runway. Go any further down. Gonna get there. Is it Bravo? Look. Okay, yeah, I suppose it is.
San Francisco traffic, Frontier 2755, 11 mile final, runway 28 left landing.
That is the runway threshold. As the brakes set.
Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On. Pros. On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
They are not required.
Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA. Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel. Checked. CAS. Takeoff config OK. Landing, pulse, recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Oakland traffic, prefect 99, lining up, taking off runway 28 right. Limits 5 departure, Oakland traffic. So we've got the correct runway here. And I am going to set 315 on the heading. It's 1916, we got 62, I think. It's not hang about. There we go. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. 400. And right 315. Safe height. Lap up. There we go, look, I made a bit of that turn, didn't I? Weren't even in heading mode anyway.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps. 0. Thruster racers. Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. PAX transition. Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shut down. Passenger signs.
Back for a view.
CAS.
APR's on, but it's effectively clear.
After takeoff checklist complete.
There we go, we are on our way. There's Linden, top of climb, top of descent. Great. Let's see if we can tidy that up. So approaching 9,000 do is I'm just going to increase speed relatively quickly. From vertical speed. Vertical speed should have been a flight level change, so it's just bad drills on my part. There we are, passing 10. Pressurization's fine. Lights can come off. Out to the left. Nice scenery as well. I don't know what that airport is. Cheap chart, shall we? Cannon Field, interesting. So there we are, making a smooth transition in the climb. Should have been flight level change, but I'm paying attention. So if we get within 5 knots, go 300. The airplane will figure it out. And you can see we are picking up the VOR. Greatest day in California. So we're going to Minden. I'm still working on dating that. We're going to my half-done version. It just needs a lot of tidying up. There's loads of unnecessary things. Started from scratch, I suppose. I redid the Ortho. Just because there was a big elevation difference across the airfield which sits on the boundary. There was a mesh issue, tile issue as well, and I might redo some of this. I thought I had full, but I don't think I have full. I tried V-States and I couldn't get a hold of it because of the Google Drive issues. So yeah, my Ortho's a bit of a mess if I'm honest. Is a bit of a headache to manage. So the next thing we're looking at 7-8, we're just going to go straight up and come straight down. See if we can cruise time. So what I am going to check is times are correct. 10 for Moxie, up 8 6.34 degrees. I don't know if we're going to struggle to maintain that. So we really need to have slowed down by then. So why don't we say 200? No. Oh, just have to roll with that. As you can see, the RNAV will take us really going to take us far. So the minimums for us 6480, which is 1756, 3 miles visibility a day. Some terrain to worry about. Some of the terrain out to the left 10,000 feet above sea level, which is still 6,000 feet above where we're going. Like I say, this is a 5-hour drive. I did the train from Reno back to San Francisco. 7 hours. Very picturesque journey it was too. It was ridiculously cheap. Recommend doing it if you get the opportunity. For 7-8 in the climb, you can see the rate of climb is reducing. So, may as well set the minimums now because it's going to take a while to set that. Somebody's going to tell me there's a way to type that in, and if there isn't, there should be. I'm going to wind this up to 6480. Just about to see that terrain coming in ahead of us. Well, if this isn't wearing out my rotary encoders, I don't know what will. Go, got there in the end. There's 300. So a bit of cloud cover on the Ortho there, which is a shame. So 1915 Zulu. Variable of 3, 10 miles. Sky condition clear. Of -5. 8,000 to go. 6 miles. Bit misty, a bit hazy. Picks up a bit. Hello. We need 3 miles, so even in 6 we would be. So we're going to maintain decimal 78 because we're up. And then going to be straight back down again in a minute. So let's let the aeroplane off. There we are, overhead the VOR. Path is armed, we're straight up, straight back down again. Set 200 initially. Maintain decimal 78. There are no nav aids, top of descent, path is armed, path transition, there is that terrain ahead. 12,000 is 25, say. Airplane just overspeeding a bit as it pitches over. So we've got the weather, the weight we started with, which was 2777, and we think we're going to arrive at 5030, so that would give us more than our block fuel if we arrive with 5002. So 32.9.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness. Passenger sounds.
Well,
Pressurization.
landing field, just under 5. Yep.
Fuel quantity and balance.
What have we got? 70 pounds. Let's put it in.
FMS landing data charts.
Just about to do that. So it's 12 degrees. Variable at 3, we think it's 30. Oh, that's some fuel. Of course, and you can see that density altitude there. Is that density? It's taking pressure. It says pressure altitude. I have a feeling it's density altitude. Because if I did that, right, it doesn't change. Okay, so it's just pressure altitude. Shut up. I think we're going to have no wind. And the runway length doing 3-4. Nothing given. 739. And let's say it's variable 3, so let's give ourselves a -3. Oh, why can't I do that? Okay, so let's put that in as a tailwind. 6.5. No, that's where they're coming from. East. Yeah, 165 and 3. Oh, this one. Yeah. B. Yeah, if I do that. 4. Yeah, no, never mind. Inattentiveness there. We should get this done, but of course we didn't have much time to get it done. So that's actually irrelevant. And factor, I said 2.9. Field length, there's 7.3. Factors, F126 because of the altitude. So that's 131. Wow, look at the scenery. Sorry that you've been missing this. It's going to be a bit more scenic on the way out because we're going to go to the north. There's Tahoe. There's where we're going. We're going out over Carson City and then that VOR and then back. So I am worried about is 6:14, 8. 12 should do us then, but looking great. But that could be the other side. We should hopefully go through this valley. And I said it was 3038.
Approach briefing.
Discussed, it's just a straight in RNAV.
VNAV transition flight level. Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
Pretty ominous heading towards those hills. Feet. I'm getting twitchy because of the ground. Look outside. Oh yeah, you can see Tahoe there. Do you have a shore that's that flat? So we should be heading up into this valley here. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, thanks, Toto. See, I'm an idiot, and you're my own. So, actually going to start bringing the speed back, just because I'm conscious about .038. I don't think I've got anything else to do. Let's check this before, isn't it? And we're not slowing down, so big time. Bearing in mind, got impacts at the back. For 3 knots. It would have been nice to put it in, but it's only going to make a couple of feet difference. Tons to play with. So that's interesting. Vertical speed didn't capture there. So, chart. It's going to be a pretty steep descent. 10 miles out. We can be pretty hot for this.
In range checklist. APU. Started. Altimeters. Reset. Cross-checked. Avionics.
Well, it's an RNAV approach, so, and actually, can we do
External lights.
okay, Billy.
On. N1 target. Set.
So, now step down to meet 8. No, Voxy 10-4. Speed's under control and we're back on path. I didn't even see this little runway. Anyway, you can see the airfields straight ahead now to 12 o'clock now. In the traffic prefect 99 overhead EVOC. Inbound RNAV GPS Bravo runway 34 Minden traffic. Not that anyone cares. Literally no one about. Here we are. Sorry, Toto. Okay, I think I get what you meant there. It was only because I was 1,000 to go. I saw it enunciated there, and that mode is. I was trying to just VS to finesse to get back on path because rather than it doing a dirty dive. Anyway, look, there's my 200, so that did work. And now we can go down to 8. How's the frame rate's 40. M1 target, I have to confirm that, but he checked it. So.
APU PAX transition. Avail completed. APU
So,
generator.
BGP.
On. CAS.
Ew. CAS is
In
clear.
range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
Okay, flap 1. Because at VACNU, it's going to get steep. Actually going to go geared out. Might actually be a little bit too steep. Still might be too high. So VGP. Active. Get configured at 131. Map.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. No steer. Arm center clear. Anti-skid. Hardened tested. Passenger signs. On. Wing cowl anti-ice.
So not required.
Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed.
So that's
Spoilers.
interesting. We ended up quite
Stove
high there.
auto. Flaps. Set. CAS.
Okay, half speed brake. I know that's cheeky. See how spectacularly high we are. Terrain. This is what, 6.34? Oh yeah, thanks. No, that wasn't a criticism. Oto, it just, like I say, I'm sure the airplane's smarter than I am. If I know it. So I don't think that's going to get us another landing position. So a little bit of a dirty dive. Speed brake.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
I know we're unstable at this point. Get us back stable. Dirty dive early. I'm not even sure how you manage that. For only visual. You know, if you only popped out of an overcast cloud layer there.
1,000.
Still got speed brake out. That is looking a bit better.
500.
My god, director guidance off. Miscues. I think I made a wind calm day look pretty hard there. Here we
100.
go.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
A little bit of a twitch. And you go. Now that was a greaser. And the nose was. This did deploy, as did all the speed brakes. Didn't need to stand on the brakes. Maybe I should have. Sure where the next exit is. Reverse is stowed. And that in the background was just Valanta being its annoying self. Confirm the CAS.
Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
So, if you can't use speed brake with flap Toto, what is the max current? Because I know this doesn't have the steep approach on. What is the max approach angle in that case? Because that was going to be unflyable without that intervention, I think. Flaps up, spoilers stowed, 945, so we've got mark somewhere. look at the scenery here. You can see why people live in this dusty, deserty, dry state. Clear days, occasional frost.
After landing checklist. Landing pulse recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield heat. Off. Probes. Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice.
It wasn't never on, we don't need it.
Spoilers. Stowed. Flaps. 0. ATC TCAS. Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine
So
shutdown checklist
Volanta
next.
gave us minus 110. It felt even softer than that on the twitchiness. See, I've still got quite a lot of work to do along here. Markings. Rain is alright. It's a long way from perfect. But when you look at it, what an airport. Oh, okay, thanks, Toto. In that case, I wonder if you could get in here. You wouldn't get a landing off it, you'd have to say. There's no way you'd do anything apart from end up in the visual pattern because the missed approach is 1,700 feet and half a mile from the runway, so that turns it into a circle, doesn't it? Rather than a straight in. Maybe we should have come in from the other direction. Never mind. I did a bit of a dirty cheat to get us in. And considering we didn't get a terrain warning, I thought that was quite good. As you can see, I'm not because about head this way. Apron. Because it can still, as you can see, still needs some work. We hear a bit of texturing I need to do. Apparently this is the soaring mecca for the world. Loads of gliding competitions and things go on here. And there's a little cafe over there, right on our right wing. I had lunch in. I didn't fly in here. Like I said, I would love to be flying in the States. So let's just pull over to the FBO here.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2.
Oh, I've got to do that, haven't I?
Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Fuel system.
Let's wait for that. See what Toto says. Not that procedure for sure. Yeah, that was pretty dirty. In fairness, you know what? On a clear day, I suppose I should have just plumbed in the visual. We could have got to that point. So right, left, right, low.
Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Was that 350 checked?
Anti-ice. Off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS.
Which I still need to change. Just. Oh. Benefit in the UK.
Standby
2000.
0. Parking brake if chocked.
We're not going to chock.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 PSI. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
But we have got the quick turn checklist, which we'll end up doing. But first, got 4870. So we're not going to burn 600 leaving the APO on. So let's run out to the FBO. Toto can tell me if I'm doing this right. I want passengers to turn up in a minute, so I need to run to the FBO, refill in the sheet, and then come back out, and everything will still be the same way. Here's hoping. We chock. I suppose, you know what? Braces, man. I'll chock under the front case. Jet blast towards the hangar. Happy days. Pebble dash somebody's car. Look, Jenny's followed us. She's got here.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support. How can we help you today?
So, we want our packs at 2015. Got 3 crew. Packs. Don't need any fuel. We don't need any services. So, go and
Of
get
course,
them.
Captain. I'll get that organized for you right away.
And here is our mighty aeroplane, just as I left her. Excellent. So, block fuel 4249 is what we do. Now we got 4870. Well, Toto can tell me how much the AP. So it's a huge amount. Something. Oh, pounds, kilos. Is it now 200 pounds an hour? That wrong. So, flight director's off. Me now. Go. Now, is that correct behaviour that the VNAV MCP, no it's not mode control panel, but that button was still on, that's odd. I had disconnected flight director early in the dirty approach. Don't try that at home, kids. Right, Oakland for the way back. So, this one doesn't like my route. By this one I mean I'm looking at SimBrief. No, Navigraph. Doesn't like it. So, I know you switch those over, but if I do that, should delete everything out. And I could do our routing. Departures. Ooh. A 2 to an airway. Physical departure. I think we're going to need that. 5250. I'm in the hold. Yeah, that's for a pretty underpowered air. So, it's actually got us going overhead Carson City, which I saw that route and I thought, hey, why not CXP? Yes. And we're going to Romeo V1. Modesto, yes, that is in Cali. It's definitely not Munster. SUNOL. Well, yes. And then back into Oakland. Might as well take 28 left. Ah, now I thought SUNOL would get us somewhere near an arrival. It does. Just have to look through all of the arrivals. If I'd had more time to plan this, I would have done the route study better. Okay, so is that effectively, let's take so there's an on-nav and an on. Two. Not that we need all of the distance. At least get a stable approach on the way back. RMP, wow, I mean the RMP takes us down to 400 feet anyway. LPV takes us down to 200. Let's go direct from there. Give those, let's... Why is it that SUNOL rings a bell in my head? It's not the initial approach fix. 28 right, is it? It's close. So, not going to do that. 3-4 because we want to go north. Arrival. Let's have a look. So there's the Yankee and the they left Zulu. And sure. At Bob. Three to 8, no, I don't want to do. What if we just do that? I know it's around there somewhere. Right, how do I get the...
Secure and checklist. Secure and checklist. Emergency lights. Secure and checklist. Engine shutdown checklist. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius. Secure and checklist.
No further checklists.
Was that the right one?
No further checklists.
If I got to go all the way back, I don't. I can do that on key bindings. That's the one.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics.
Quick turn checklist. Pressurization panel.
There we go. And it's a shame that we don't have the arrival. Is going to be effectively sea level. If we together. Oh, SATCOM, God. That's expensive. Slow. Runway heading is 35. Set that. Think about it. Oakland pressure 3030. Out there. So pressurization panel set.
Anti-ice panel.
Test record. Check.
Fuel panel.
Do I need to check? Well, to do it.
Clock and FMS fuel used.
So FMS fuel used. I don't actually know to set that. Status. Oh, I need to reset the reserves. So clock, I need to set 7-minute flight reset.
Trims. Mock trim.
So actually we landed with about 6.8. 6.8.
ATIS and clearance.
So there is still no ATC online, nobody needs any clearance. It's 1955. I think we had that. It's automatic. Hill wind. 10 miles. Sky clear. There's 14. It's 16 aeroplane. Three. 6. So no clearance.
PDLC. FMS. Perf.
We're indicating 4820. So our zero fuel weight 28269, and of course that's going to round out. Our cruise level is 60 on the way. So that's a cruise 30. So there's a question for you, Toto. What would you take? Temperatures. ATIS is 15. Static air is giving you 16. Look at the ISO plus 10. In my mind it would be safer. 16. 036 we've got. Pressure out. 3.1. Check. So 4.8. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? See 4,003 feet. 733. 73. Down to the end. Speeds sent. Anything else I need? Earth data. Position altitude. Correct. We're not going to get.
Hello, Captain. It's Jenny from Hot Start Flight Support.
Hey Jenny.
Your passengers have arrived. Shall I have them brought to the plane?
Please.
Understood. They'll be there in a couple of minutes. Anything else?
No. Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
And we have done as much as I think we can. Back, we've got the route, it's all direct. SUNOL. Yeah, I knew it was around there somewhere. Anyone know Oakland a bit better than I do?
Takeoff data, avionics, charts, flight instruments.
So, do that again. Departure here, so what I will do is give us an MSA. Of course we could check that, but I'm pretty confident. I'm going to set, let's have a look at the op chart. Going. So we are doing a bit of a scenic route. Biggest MSA round here, 15.8 to the south, 12.3, let's go 13. So, flight instruments. TO. Guidance. Arm. No, actually, on the depart heading, I'm going straight ahead. And then once we got a few miles out, of course I can do a custom waypoint for heading departure. Then head direct Carson City, which is I think slightly right of track. FMS1 guidance, yeah. Switch over, go speeds, set 100, fly direct side 30, size 0, and the N1 is 92%.
Anti-skid.
Hello, Captain. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
That's great to hear. Well, we're all set back there, so we can get going anytime.
So, armed check. Interestingly, can't check it. But again, no doubt down to my
Parking brake.
the brake. What I'm going to do, we're chocked. I am going to cycle parking. Just to be sure.
Passenger signs.
So, they're here.
Departure briefing.
We've discussed what we're going to do. I don't think we need to do obstacles. To reality check.
Emergency procedures. Pins. Shocks.
Checked.
Quick turn checklist complete. Quick turn checklist complete.
Go. So, early.
Flight compartment checklist.
Oh dear.
AC and DC electrics. Engine start checklist. Doors.
So, no one to talk to. Get the door shut. 16 outside, 23 in the cabin, so outside now.
Closed. Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
So, we have an imbalance of almost 200, but that is, well, within 70, 160.
Beacon.
So, no one to talk to. Let's pop transponder. We have one shock in, which I'm going to leave in for start. Like I say, I'm a belt and braces kind of guy. No.
On. Fuel boost pumps.
Of course. But
On. Ignition.
start. Go
On.
A because we did Bravo early.
Engine 2 start.
So we got a thumbs up. So engine start number 2. N2's turning, oil pressure's increasing. Send N2 ITT not less than 120, so look, I'm just going to leave it to motor. There's 20 N1's turning, fuel on, flow increases, ITT increases, turning, oil pressures increase. And I think that's the right way to do it, isn't it, Toto?
Fuel system.
Don't need to do that.
Engine 1 start.
So engine 2, 2, 6, 4, stable. Signal 1. Start 1, start engine number 1. Turning, oil pressure is increasing. It is not less than 1. N1's turning, and that's what's cooling it down. So there's 120, fuel on, flow increases, ET increases, N1's increasing, oil pressure's increasing too.
Engine start checklist complete. After start checklist, next. After start checklist. Generator 1 and 2.
So I'm just going to wait. Thumbs up from the chocks. Chocks out.
On, checked AC and DC. Ignition. Disarmed. Packs. On. 14th stage. Open. Cowl anti-ice.
First check of the day, we don't need to do it.
Flight controls.
One, there they are. Oh look, I managed to get a fail on the aileron there. Did I move it while the engine was shut down? Or has this happened? The only way you can clear that is to reset the battery. But you can see that the ailerons are moving. Right. So I not hit it. I think I moved it. I might have just knocked the control. I thought both would have moved.
Ground spoilers.
That's the first check of the day, we don't need to do it.
Flight spoiler. Cowl anti. Supplemental ground wing. Fuel balance.
So I am going to balance the fuel. It's within limits. Let's just do that.
Trims.
Actually, 5.8. Let's try that.
No steer.
The chock is out.
Armed. APR.
That is not a first check of the day, so 1. Okay, 2. Okay.
ADG unit.
First of the day, but guess not. Checked.
Supplemental ground wing. Cowl anti-ice. Wing anti-ice. 14th stage isolation valve. Wing anti-ice. ATS.
Checked.
N1 TO. ATC TCAS.
Oh, I've got to do that. No.
After start checklist complete. Ground spoilers.
So after start checklist complete, I skipped somebody went back. So I guess that's my
taxi checklist. Taxi lights. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Brakes and steering.
Check those as we depart. So, how are we going to get out of here? Let's have a look. I think we can go straight ahead. Left, Charlie. No, let's go left and right on Bravo, right on Alpha. Minden traffic, prefect 99, taxiing, hold runway 34 via Delta, Bravo, and Alpha. Minden traffic. So, clear left, we'd get a thumbs up and a see off from the crew. Brakes off. Airplane is rolling forward by itself. Brakes work. Now, here's one for you. It works on this one, but not on my other one. Why is that?
Would like to welcome you aboard this Challenger 650 for your flight today. We would like to take a moment to review the safety features of this Challenger 650 aircraft.
So, steering's good.
The FAA's regulations require passengers to observe
what we may have is some taxiing issues here. Taxiways are all in place, it's just tidying up that I need.
At all times. During takeoff,
Reverse thrust.
Seatbelts must be secured.
That's the first of the day.
Taxiing the D-ice. Pause checklist here until paper D-ice checklist is complete.
Shoulder harness. It must also be secured
Flaps.
while in your seat.
20. Altimeters.
Smoking is not allowed while the
Set and
aircraft is
cross
on the
check.
ground or
Radar
any
weather.
time the no smoking sign is
On.
illuminated.
Takeoff briefing.
Smoking of cigars and pipes
We have
is
discussed
not
our
allowed
departure.
at any time. In the
Pretty snug taxiways.
Taxi checklist complete.
Tampering with,
Before takeoff
destroying
checklist
or
next.
disabling
There you go, look, you
smoke
can see I've got some
detectors
joints to do.
is prohibited by federal law.
Clearly got
In the
quite
event
a
of
lot
an
to do
emergency,
here.
there are 2 emergency exits on board this aircraft.
Stuttering, we're still 40 frames per second.
Emergency exit on the right-hand side of the cabin, and the main exit at the forward
Entirely my
left-hand
bad.
side of the cabin. To open the overwing emergency exit door, pull
So,
the handle, and
on
then
my
pull the
European
door
airframe,
into the cabin.
cabin announcements.
To open the main passenger door,
I thought
raise
that
the
that was
red
something
handle
smart, that if you
and
had a
push the
cabin
door
attendant,
outward.
i.e. you put 3 crew,
In
that
the
it
event of
would
an
disable those
emergency,
messages, but I guess
emergency lighting
the same
will
message that they
illuminate
play anyway.
and floor path lighting
I was
will direct
overthinking
you to the
that.
exits. The exit
So, let's have a look
locations
online.
are
Oh look,
indicated
there's
by illuminated
here.
red signs.
And
In the unlikely event that there is a loss of cabin pressurization, oxygen masks will automatically deploy from the dispensing units above your head.
running again.
Grasp the mask and pull down firmly.
Look at
Place
the
the mask over
scenery.
your nose and mouth and breathe normally.
I know Ortho is
Until
not
the bag
perfect.
will inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask.
The setting I have generally around the world
Pull the
is
straps on the sides. Put your own mask on before assisting children
zoom
or
and
persons in
then
need of
16 for the
assistance.
tiles, and
Please
then
note
zoom level
that
17
smoking is not
13
allowed when
kilometers
oxygen
of
is in use.
um,
There are
KO
2
airport.
fire extinguishers on board, located at both the forward and aft of the aircraft. Please consult the passenger briefing cards for the location and operation
That makes
of the fire
for
extinguishers.
some pretty nice Ortho.
We invite you
There's,
to review the passenger briefing
there was
cards
something
for
that did
all other safety
levels
information
even further than that,
regarding
but I
this
couldn't get
aircraft.
it. Okay, it's just a shame that
All personal carry-on items should be
accessible.
secured for takeoff and landing.
I mean it's pretty darn easy.
Seatbelts must be worn during taxi, takeoff,
Impressive.
and at any time when the seatbelt sign is illuminated. To fasten the seatbelt, place the flat metal plate into the buckle. If equipped with a shoulder
Here we are,
harness,
Alpha
secure the tab to the buckle. To tighten, pull the tab, and to remove, lift the buckle up. During taxi, takeoff, and landing, seats must be placed
About
in their
20,
takeoff and landing position.
2 before we get going. Got 4, 5, something.
Aft-facing seats must have their headrests fully extended, and if equipped, their headrests
Straight ahead,
fully
at or above
positioned
5
must
to
be in place.
turn, so
All storage
sounds
compartments
reasonable.
and tables must be stowed for taxi, takeoff, and landing.
Have a look. Oh, I thought I'd hidden those, that was just me trying out the pavements. You can see what the airport is meant to look like. say, just these bits of terrain, the circles, etc., make it a hell of a lot more believable. The actual field shapes. I know it's not perfect. Ex-Europe is on top of this, apart from the end, obviously. And I think it's pretty good. See Reno in the distance, and we're going to go up here. Sort of Carson City's over here, and then the distance will be top. So that's what we've got to look forward to.
Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On. Pros. On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice. Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA.
And you probably can't see
ground wing
that radar.
Checked. CAS. Takeoff config OK.
Check that in a moment, but that's the terrain.
Landing, pulse, recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Minden traffic, prefect 99 lining up, departing A34 traffic. Taking off, never mind. One thing I can't get rid of, I think this one has wing lights, the other one has no lighting off, still has threshold lights. Hopefully that will be fixed in it. Well, feeling I'm going to have to run it a lot and tweaked. What I need is a bit of ground texture of a similar colour or transparency to make it a little bit more believable. Anyway, correct runway. 2. Let's go. See, a lot longer. Oh, high. A lot longer to accelerate. Altitude V1. Rotate a little bit bumpy. Positive rate gear up. At 160 initially. So safe height, safe speed. Slower than anything touch. Wrap up. So take pilot heading and 250. Accelerating quite nicely.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps. 0. Thrust reversers. Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. PAX transition.
Change 250.
N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shut down. Passenger signs.
Pretty smooth.
CAS.
No APR, effectively clear.
After takeoff checklist complete.
So there's Carson City. So 360. No. apart from that sad stitching. A nice view of the lake. Is a big old lake. And don't forget, Ortho does this mesh as well, so if you have HD mesh, it does that underneath as well. I think you can do it better and the smaller data size. So I'm told a lot of trails up in those hills. There's the South Lake Tahoe Airport. There's clearly I haven't got the set up. Tell you now that gone out of AP flight level change 300 passing 200. Set standard already. You see top climb, top of descent, they're nice and close together again. Certainly better than a 5-hour drive if you've got a couple of grand to spare. Although it's not very far, even in a small aeroplane. Yeah, you'd probably clear the mountains. Need oxygen for a little bit to get over. But even in a Warrior or something similar, it's still only good. Hour and a half. See why it's more popular, much more popular in the States as an actual as in this country. And about the lake shore, but too terrible to me. Interesting, the pressurization controller is decreasing. Just the rate, the altitude. My altitude takeoff. So pretty darn good airplane. 40 frames per second. It feels a little bit stuttery. Check some setting, I guess. Clearly that is some lovely FMS coding there to the aeroplanes do that intercept nicely. Going to do say well they're at I suppose are they MSAs or are they MEFs? I don't know. The charts are 6. The zoom level right. 5, 1, 12 initially. See where we departed from. Relatively clearly still. So, top of climbing, top of descent, most on top of each other now, that's wonderful. Because I didn't update the winds, did I? So, stop 2. Is there an easier way of doing that? Planned Zulu. Let's see if there's. See online. I haven't updated my flight plan. That was a flaw. I forget to do something. Oh well, nobody's online. Doesn't matter. Because I don't think you can flight plan in flight. Being unfamiliar with the aeroplane still. Very much behind the drag curve. So, Toto might be able to tell me this. What's the difference between airports and nearest airport? Checked, and I've managed to screw the climb up again. So capture back to 7-8, sending soon. Let's set 180 just so I get warnings. Get on VNAV. Engage the modifier. Gonna go all the way down, knowing that TCAS will save us within 5,100. So the MSA shouldn't be. You need 50. That 2 hours ago. 8270. It's 31.6. It.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness. Passenger signs.
So they're in auto, we'll put them on then.
Pressurization.
0. Set.
Fuel quantity and balance.
Oh, imbalance.
FMS landing data charts.
So FMS data, I'm just in the process of doing. There's top of descent, and I've just wound the speed down a little bit. So the airplane doesn't respond that quickly, because I know it's going to increase as we pitch down. Set again. So Oakland is 19 Zulu. Flying. Return. Sky clear. 16. 13. Roughly. I know they change over there. So, perf approach. So, getting in. So, 300 at 5. 20 degrees off, maybe about 2/3. So let's call it H3. Oh, there we go. The H5. It was right 2. It's a bit dim today. So. 16 degrees right. Gonna be 31.6. Going up to 31.7. Build length. And 2/3 of the runway. And you can see the speed's a lot lower with the being back down to sea level. Send that through. And what have we got? I'm not going to be able to decipher which RMP values. One, I know the airplane can do it for you, so I'm going to pick 400. Mile and a quarter. Oh, is there a way I can reset this? My list. Is it easier to do it this way? That is though. yeah, that doesn't push and hold. Easier. Down to 400, please. So, let's have a look at the GPU. At this point, that looks a bit better, and it's only taken a small FPS hit. Still nobody is online.
Approach briefing.
So, we are RMP Zulu 28 left, 78 final approach course, odds in 1900, 341, we're going to go 400, because I don't know what RMP we are on, we'll easily check it. We don't have to worry about cold temperature because A, it's not warm, B, it's not cold. There's 18, 030. That's almost straight in from here.
VNAV transition flight level.
Correct.
Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
So that has captured, okay, going down to 10. Still got the train radar on. 30, we're on path. There we go, there's a nice bit of terrain. With Ortho to go with it. No. Clouds have disappeared, what a shame. So we're picking up the Oakland VOL, the approach track, and it's ARNAV anyway. Map is 13 out. Oh, actually, this is an authorization procedure. Although if we were home based, we'd be allowed to do it. No. On this again. Thread that needle. Speed back. Minutes, 5 miles out. And as you can see, 2 minutes to get to 10,000 speed. Although it does bleed back relatively quickly. So we're going for the left. Yeah, 28 left. Makes sense. Actually, no it doesn't. We would be going for the shorter one in reality. So again, that's me being pretty slow on the uptake today. Which is why 28 right, the shorter runway has got the ILS. Oh well. We should be able to vacate Papa. Takes us straight ahead to Juliet, right turn, left turn, back to where we parked. Pretty steady. Speed is coming back nicely. There's 10. So 3, 7. Right, looks like it's. There you go, we slowed down quite nicely, so you have to anticipate, even though this is a bit of a bird. Oakland traffic, Prefect 99 inbound at SUNOL RMP Zulu approach runway 28 left. Oakland traffic. I think 28 right might actually be closed in real life, maybe that's why I picked it. No tabs. Promise that I did. Like I say, I didn't have a motive for that planning. 2 legs on sim brief is a bit of a head scratch. A bit of a headache trying to figure out which way round to do them. And unlike real life where you can plan a decent time, life usually gets in the way of simming. There's this nice little lake. What drought do they have in California now? So this looks like the sort of junky X-plane scenery, but it isn't. Look, detail on that is actually pretty good. I think you look at that, that is better than sort of flight sim, and this will only be zoom level 17 max. It's not going to be 18. Frames are at 40, but a bit stuttering. And 16 over vast areas with 17 jets. Seems pretty reasonable to me, to be honest. Get a good level of detail with a decent file size. Of 4 terabyte hard drives. Then you add ex-America, ex-Europe on top with the assets that that gives, which is definitely better than standard overlays. Look at the quality of the roads. Very, very good. Start. Keep that on. So the glide path is at Bose Bath. See the bay. And just about making it head. Stubby jet.
May we have your attention, please? We're approaching our destination and will be landing in a few minutes. Please place all storage compartments
In
and
range
tables
checklist.
in their fully stowed
APU.
position. All portable electronic devices
Started.
must be turned off.
Altimeters.
Ensure that your seats
Reset,
are fully upright
cross-checked.
and that all the
Avionics.
are stowed. And observe the seatbelt and no smoking signs when they appear.
Good, I think.
External lights. On. N1 target.
It's me again.
Set.
So it is set for
APU PAX transition. Avail completed. APU generator. On. CAS.
CAS is clear.
In range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
Oakland traffic, Prefect 99 overhead DUPAP, RMP Zulu runway 28 left, Oakland traffic. RMP arm. 37, we can go down to 28. Miles to go. Miles are we total? 10 miles out.
2500.
Lap 1. VATSIM as we start slowing. We are within a mile, so we drop down to 100. My path. Approach on nav 1. The approach. Just straight ahead to 3.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. No steer. Arm centered clear. Anti-skid. Armed tested. Passenger signs. On. Wing cowl anti-ice.
Got 3, so
Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed. Spoilers. Stowed auto. Flaps.
I thought I had set 40.
Set.
Oakland traffic,
Cats.
perfect 99 for our final runway 28 left. There we are, stable by 500 in VMC. As is, they've got EFIS. That's got to be something the other side.
1000.
Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
Chill today. See the runways miles out. It's taking a little bit of a hit there. It's the stutters that are upsetting. Just break the immersion a little bit. So, I have control. Yanks like to say my airplane.
Approaching minimums.
Flight director. Just hit the
Minimums.
wrong button. Continue. Got a bit low all of a sudden.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Come on, birdie. Okay. Come on, that was a greaser. I did one reverser stow itself. vacate there. Yeah. It's a little odd. That's happened before. I don't know if it's just noise on the controllers. I've got one to deploy both. See the difference between the two? Local traffic, Prefect 99, runway 28 left, vacated. Traffic, Prefect 99, crossing, runway 28 right, local traffic. "33-minute flight. Pick up at lunchtime. Have a few snacks and a bit of champagne. The destination. So we can't taxi straight ahead. See from the air.
May we have your attention, please? For your own safety, please stay seated and keep your seatbelt on until the seatbelt sign turns off. Smoking is not allowed at this time. Thank you.
So as you see, VNav still lit. Is that a bug? Local traffic, Prefect 99, runway 28 right, vacated. So Volanta said we touched down at 3 feet per minute. I think it was even less than that.
After landing checklist. Landing pulse recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield heat. Off. Probes. Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice.
Oh, Cal anti-ice is made then.
Spoilers. Stowed. Flaps. 0. ATC TCAS. Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist
Hot
next.
Flight Support, Jenny speaking. How can we help? Understood. We'll have that ready for you. Anything else?
Nope, Jenny, you're a star.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
However, I'm going to park. I'm not going to taxi into these hangars. I don't think that was the best spot over here by the fuel. So, let's just do a cheating. Oh, how about this spot here? I'll do us, surely. As you can see, frame rates are in the mid-30s, like that. That's what I did my upgrade for. Hey, there's a yellow line, that must be for me. No, I don't know why there's any markings here, so just continue down this way. Gonna hit anything here, are we? Marshall in reality. Find a better home. It's airfield somewhere. So brake, set.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2. Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Fuel system. Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Checked.
Anti-ice. Off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS. Standby 0. Parking brake if chocked.
So let's get the airplane chocked. Brake off.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 psi. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
Those shadows are more
The
than good enough
airport
for the
taxi's
X-plane.
here. Thank you, Captain. Great flight as always. Well, I'll see you next time.
Thanks, you're welcome. I think I have to, so is that van seemed to fill some frames the other day. Out a bit. Maybe it was a lighting issue. Oh no, there was a little dip there. Nope. Seems okay. So, pop the nose gear pin in. The APU. Too long out here. That one. That one. Welcome back to Oakland, guys. Picked up some packs and dropped them off. Back here with 31.6 tons, loads and loads of fuel.
Secure and checklist. Emergency lights.
Off.
AC-DC utility switch.
Off.
Headsets. Thrust reversers. Chocks.
They are in.
Parking brake.
Off.
Hydraulic pumps.
Can now all come off.
Nav lights. Logo light.
Going to stay on for the moment,
APU generator.
as is that.
APU start stop.
As is the APU.
Packs. LCV 10th stage isolation valve.
Both closed.
APU power fuel. ICAS APU gauge. Battery master. Cockpit refuel panel.
Yeah, I will check out what I, because I have a terrible habit of forgetting all about it.
Service lights. Pins and covers. Securing checklist complete.
There we go. So, that hasn't disappeared. This drops down to EGT1. Anyway, there is our aeroplane secured. Door open. Brakes are very effective. Few nice cue. It was a little bit of an over rotate and a float. Look at that for a greaser. It used up probably a little bit more runway than I was anticipating. And I was a little bit distracted with the braking. What appeared to be an in-op reverser. I think we stood on the brakes too much there. Difficult to tell. That's the sort of finesse and smoothness that you just don't get until feeling that deceleration. Looking out over the bay. 3 frames per second. I can really live with that. There's no Golden Gate Bridge, which is a disappointment, but it's a lot of buildings to be showing up. And of course, sounds in play. But I just like to. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I know the approach into Minden was a bit of a disaster. Like I say, these are not tutorial streams. This is just one guy hoofing about a product. Really, it's a showcase of just flying it. What works. By no means a pro. There are many better people out there to learn from me. But if you want to see what this aeroplane and is capable of, probably a bit of a waste for the short flights I do. The Phenom is capable of short length, but you don't get in the Phenom is stand-up cabin like you do with the stubby little jet. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy the scenery. I'm pleased that the frames seem to be good in the hood. I'm relieved that touchwood we had no crashes. Shadows, because the world looks weird without them. But hopefully X-Plane 12 will free us in that respect. So, further ado, call it quits there, guys. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care wherever you are in the world. Much love. Bye for now.